Hello everyone, I hope you're alright with this virus going on. I hope the lockdown went fine and so on. We're just gonna get started. So, first of all, my name is Gachet. I am 21 years old. I've been studying applied physics for about 2 years now. I live in Dunière, which is close to Saint-Étienne in Haute-Loire. So what I've done with my studies, basically I got my high school diploma in 2017. Then after that I didn't know what to do, so I really wanted to speak English, like a fluent English, like English fluently. I wanted to speak English fluently. That was like a dream for me. So after getting my high school diploma, I decided to take a gap year. I went to the UK for about 7 months. I stayed there, went to England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. There I was au pair in different families, so I had to cook, I had to look after children, I had to walk dogs, I had to do some cleaning inside the house, outside the house, I had to garden, etc, etc. Then in September I decided to study applied physics. So for about 2 years I've been studying applied physics now. Why did I have to make that video? So that's really important. Basically, after these 2 years, I was meant to work. I was meant to do my internship in a lab in Lyon. But that didn't happen because of the virus going on and so on. So my teachers asked me to make that video. So today I will be talking about applied physics. So what subjects I liked, for example, or what I like the most about applied physics. What I've learned from my studies. I'm going to tell you if I'm interested in science or not. I mean, you can guess that question. You can guess the answer to that question. And after my diploma, what's next? So I'm going to be telling you what I will be doing in September. Applied physics. So what you have to know about applied physics, the main difference between applied physics in France and in the UK is that in France it takes you 2 years to get your diploma, whereas in the UK it takes you 4 years to get your diploma, but you actually study the same subjects, so that's good. Applied physics in France, well in England too, but in France it's multidisciplinary, and it has 3 types of courses. The first one is, I would say, a theoretical one. Basically, there's a teacher, he speaks a lot, you try to learn as much as you can. The second type of course is more like, well, you have to do a lot of exercise. There is still a teacher, you have to do some exercise, you correct them, and there are only 26 students. And the third type of course is these lab works. So basically you do experiments, you try to run these experiments. If they work, you try to improve them, and if they didn't work, you try to learn how and why they didn't work. So that's good. The difference between the first year and the second year. So the first year, I would say that you learn, all the theory that you need for the second year. So it's a bit boring because you learn a lot of theory, but you don't know actually why, you don't know where it's gonna end, and so on. Whereas when you study during this year, the second one, you use all the theory that you've learned the year before, and it helps you a lot. Actually, without that theory, you couldn't do that year. You know what I mean? And what I like the most about applied physics, well, I like the fact that there are a lot of subjects. For example, you can study mathematics, chemistry, mechanics, thermodynamics. You can study electricity, informatics, and even if once you don't actually really like one subject, you're just gonna study that subject for that amount. So then you can, if you have had enough, you know, it's gonna go well. After a month, you'll be able to study another subject, which is good. That's the thing I really like. And the other thing I really like is these lab works, because the teacher isn't on your back telling you what to do, so you just have to follow a protocol and run your experiment, see how it goes, and blah blah blah. But you don't need someone to tell you what to do, so that's good. What I've learned from my studies, so basically you do work as a team a lot during these 2 years. Basically during these lab works, most of them you work with another student. There are 2 students working on an experiment, and with these these petuts are like little projects. So you have a subject, you have to write down a report, give it to the teacher, but there are actually 4 students per subject, so you're not on your own. So I really like doing sports, practicing sports, but I used to swim a lot. I used to be a swimmer. I did a lot of competitions. I used to swim 5 times a week. But the thing is, you are on your own. Whereas when I started working as a team, I decided to try to play volleyball. I was like, well, you like working as a team, why shouldn't you be trying to play a team sport? So I've tried to play volleyball and I loved it because basically you make friends, you know how they play, you know how you play, so you can try to combine everything to make the best team, and that's insane. Also, I'm a fly fisher, so that's me fishing with a Christmassy hat because it was the day before Christmas, I guess. I'm gonna show you that video, and basically you are going to be able to see how the rod bends. You're gonna see how strong the tipper is and needs to be, because I'm gonna try to put that fish, it was a really big fish, into the net, but it doesn't want to, so it just goes downstream, and at the end I've got it in the net. I took a picture and so on. But the thing is, during our materials science courses, we learned a lot of things about polymers, about carbon too, and what you have to know is these rods are made out of carbon, and you have to get the right proportion of carbon if you want to make a rod which actually bends right, but which isn't too I've forgotten the word, which isn't too stiff. So that's good. And about the tippets, during our lab works, we tried to, it was I think a thread of copper, we tried to pull it in and out at the same time, and we tried to understand when it breaks, why it breaks, how much pressure you needed to put in order to break it, and so on. And that's really good because they try to run exactly the same experiments with the tippets that I'm using. So that's good. I am still interested in science. I do read a lot of news on the net, apart from space news, because I think that our world is wide enough and we don't need to go everywhere else to find out a lot of things about science or biology and so on. My favorite inventions that I read on the net are about sustainable polymers. So basically you go from a plant, you transform the monomer that you got, and then you transform it again to get whatever you want, for example a bottle or a shoe or whatever. But the thing is that you can recycle that shoe, which is good though, because you don't have to throw it in the bin and let it be. No, you can recycle it. So these are 2 extracts from 2 different reviews I found on the net. The first one is from the Science Daily, the second one is from Science Mag. I'm not actually going to read them, it's going to be boring for you and for me. But the first one is about a fishing gear. So when you go fishing in the sea, you actually use nets and so on, and sometimes these nets can get lost, but they stay there in the ocean, and that's not good at all. So that's why they try to work on polymers that you can actually recycle them. Or that's the other one, it's about recycling plastic bottles. So basically they use just an enzyme, they use an enzyme that can destroy these bottles, which is good. So that's how sustainable polymers really work. So you actually get a monomer from, for example, a sweet corn plant, from some agricultural waste, which is good because that was meant to be waste, so we use it again. You get a monomer, for example, the one from the sweet corn is called starch. It's known, it's really known, it's well known. Then you transform it to get a monomer, and then you transform it again to get a polymer, and after that you can actually make whatever you want. Packaging, cup, plastic bottles, nets, or whatever. So that's super good. But these things you can actually recycle them. So that's better, because if you lose them in the environment, they're not going to destroy the environment. So that's super good. That's why I really like these two intentions, because I think that our oceans and seas are full of plastic, and it's not good at all. We have to do something about that, and that's good that a few scientists are working on the project. So after getting my diploma, what's next? Basically, I would like to get into an engineering school. So I've applied to different schools in France, engineering schools, of course. After getting into an engineering school, I would like to do another year, study for another year, for example. I would like to study like a management year, to learn how to make my own company or my own factory and so on. So that's the first option. Or the second option is getting a PhD and becoming a researcher, sorry. So that would be nice. I don't know which option is the best, but I guess I'll find out when I'll be studying how to become an engineer. So to conclude, I wanted to say something about my internship. It's a shame I couldn't do it. I'm a bit annoyed about that, because first of all, I was meant to work in a famous lab in Lyon, which is good. I was meant to work with foreigners, so I would have had to speak English and work at the same time, which is something I really want to. I would have used different materials, different instruments that I haven't used at l'IUT, at school. I would have worked with PhD students, so I would have seen what their jobs are about. So I would have actually seen if being a researcher is good or not, and if I like it or not, because that's the question. But I think I'll find out when I'll be studying how to become an engineer. And to finish, I wanted to say thank you to Mrs. Kruse, because she helped me a lot. She answered my questions, so that's good, that's really good. I wanted to say thank you to as well all the teachers that are working at l'IUT, because they are all nice, and I actually learned a lot of things during these 2 years, so that's good. And I wanted to say thank you for watching, and I hope that you really liked it.